So one of the main benefits of demo reviewing is that you get to watch yourself play and get to know some mistakes, and you can go back into the game with a refreshed mindset, right? Because otherwise, like you kind of know what your faults are, but you don't fully understand them in comparison to if you watch, you will. You know what I mean? So right now, we're seeing you push through. Your crosshair positioning's bad. I won't note that again. Well, I might note it up every now and then. Uh, General awareness isn't too spotty. You're letting your teammate push while you're playing passive, right? So like right here, if I'm gonna pause, your teammate pushed forward, and then you waited, did some damage, but like you waited, right? That was a bit of a bait, but this round doesn't really matter at this point. Really, at this point here, when you're at the bench, you have two options. Right now, one is you can go into store and get this 1v1 duel, because in a clutch situation, you want to take as many 1v1s as possible, right? Um, so either you push into store and kill this guy's store, which is risky because you have to jump across, right? You're going to have to jump across on cat, which you could have a guy looking there. Which pretend this guy was playing passive, he would see you go into store door, right? But thankfully he isn't. It's a timing thing that happens here. So 1v1s, you go to store and fight that, or you fight the guy cat. You're in the lucky position where you have another guy going underpass, so either option was viable. The most viable option would have been you fight the guy on cat, and then you fight the guy store, and you go from there. So you want to take as many 1v1 duels as possible. That's the first thing you want to do in a clutch situation. So you get the skill here. Good job, but you heard one guy on B site. So you know where one is, you don't know where the other's at. Now here, pretend we don't have hindsight or vision because we know the other guy's stairs and apartments. You don't know where the other guy's at, so he could be coming from store, he could be cat, he could already be on site, he could already be apartments. It wouldn't be. You have two options again. One is to rush to A site and plant. The other is to try to fight the guy that you heard. Both are valuable options. Looking at your HP, your best option would be to go for plant in this situation. Again, in both scenarios, you just got this kill, but in the pause beforehand, your crosshair was in a good position. Here, you should be immediately running over towards A. Okay. So bomb's getting planted. Here, right? You plant bomb. I would either jiggle peek to the left of triple or jiggle peek to the right of triple looking towards connector. Right? Let's see what happens. Again, your crosshair is in a good position. You're going slow. You jump straight across, meaning they now know where you're at. Yes, you lived, but mind you, jumping across isn't the best idea in general because you're down to 2 HP. Even a stray bullet to the foot kills you. So jiggle peeking would have been the better option there. You live though, but now that they know where you're at, you have to take a 1v1 fight. So coming into CT, you need to take this 1v1 fight either with the guy that you know is stairs, or you peek towards CT and see if anyone's there. You decide to do neither. Because you do neither now, you're getting pinched upon, and they know where you're at. One guy's coming from CT, which you don't know, and the other guy's coming from a site, which he knows where you're at. So what your choice here, knowing that they know where you're at, is either to look towards CT right now and wait for anyone to push across, or take 1v1 fights. The right option is to try to take 1v1 fights. It's incredibly difficult for you to win, but weirder stuff has happened, right? So we see here, you're waiting. You're looking towards CT, which isn't the bad route. You hear him to your left, and then you miss your shots. Missing your shots, I can't credit against you because that happens, right? But you could have played that better. It doesn't matter if you miss your shots because, again, like I said, missing shots happens. But what does matter is how you play it because you can improve how you play. Playing it wrong and winning doesn't mean it was the right play. You still played it wrong. You just got the better aim, right? That's the beautiful thing about Counter-Strike. But if you play it right, you have a higher chance of winning the round. Not saying you 100% win it, but yeah. Okay, let's see. So you're alive. Here you bought, and if we look at your team's money, right now what we see is that you have $200 left. Everyone else can't really fall by behind this. That was a cocky. What you should do is always check the money of your team, right? Because you can assume if the enemy team won, they're going to buy SMGs. They can buy about 1 or 2 rifles. This guy, Tuxedo, because he got 3 kills, can buy a rifle. That's one thing you got to note. Otherwise, most people are going to buy like SMGs, shotguns like they are right now. They're not going to buy anything amazing. Force buying on round 2 isn't a bad thing, but you have to have your team go behind you. If you immediately buy without conversing with your team in this scenario, then you're going to notice there's going to be an issue because they can all be different, right? All these players can play different. Force buying without your team behind you is just risky. So right here, your team's not. I bought behind you, but the rest of the team doesn't buy, right? You have, okay, someone else bought near the end, but you have, okay, everyone buys. Now the issue here is that the boss, the Forgotten One, has no head armor. He has no armor, meaning he's weak against shotguns, and he's weak against M4. So even though he has an AK, which is a good gun, he's weak. Same thing for Bulldog. He's weak. Barbecue is weak. Everyone right now is weak that bought. While you, me, have head armor, which is good as long as we stay away from a shotgun at close range, we can live. But the rest of our team is weak. So let's see here. 3 people towards apartment. You should look and see, okay, if I have 3 people is too much. 2 is iffy. You can get away with 2 though. So you should have maybe went towards A main right now. If you look at the menu map top left, you should have went towards A main because no one's watching it right now. Look where your team is at. Basically what I'm trying to say here is look where your team is at and play according to where your team's located. Our team's taking a forward position, meaning we should probably be more forward too. One guy's pushed up on cat and one guy's underpass. The guy on cat is the most forward position, and thus he's most likely in the wrong. I get that kill. Once I get that kill, that's kind of the initiation to go. Again, crosshair placement. If you look at your crosshair right now, it's not really useful. If someone's going to appear, it's going to be in the center of that board where the boxes are, or from the ladder. Your crosshair is not exactly useful, right? You're crouch peeking. Part of the issue with crouch peeking is you're incredibly slow, and because you're incredibly slow, people will see you before you see them. So try to crouch peek less. You want to stand up and AD more. Because you can't get picked off right here, right? And again, crosshair positioning. Your crosshair is out of nowhere right now, right? You fix it as you go, but stuff to keep in mind. Mind you, I just got 2 kills. That kind of means you need to go. You need to jump onto site is what you should be doing right now. Again, crosshair. If you're noticing where your crosshair is going, a lot of it's bad crosshair positioning. What happens there is you're looking around for the shot. The dink indicator that you see on screen right now in the center shows you where you've been shot at the moment where you're looking. So you should have immediately knew it was from stairs, especially because you heard it, right? And thus you should have been looking there. So when I jumped up on top of stairs, even though I will die, you can immediately get that trade frag. It's just small things to pay attention, right? So right here, we're rushing out. I tell you to rush. You go quick. Here. Crosshair positioning again. You're jumping down though. This is fine. There's no issues with what you're doing. Reloading. You had 26 bullets. You had no reason to reload, right? It's not Call of Duty. You can keep 26 bullets, and if you're using all 26 bullets up and you still haven't got the kill, the 4 extra bullets aren't going to be that big of a help. Usually you should be able to kill someone within the first 5. With an SMG, I would say 15 bullets. With an AK, it should be first 5 to 10. Otherwise, you probably lost. You hear me fighting. Nice, you get that kill. You back away. You don't need to back away, even though you're reloading, which again, you're reloading with 22 bullets, right? You need a peak store here. You don't need to reload. You don't need to reload so much. Because you decided to reload, you're playing more passive when you could take more ground and peak store, and which right now store is a 1v1. Doesn't mean you have to take this fight store, right? But it is an option, which you're limiting your options by reloading and falling back. There, again, like I said, you didn't need to take that fight. You can, but you don't need to. So, one thing I'll note, not you, but it's Barbecue. He has PP Bison. PP Bison is really bad against armor. They have buffed it, so I don't think it is as bad as on Eco Round. But right now, look at the opponents, right? 4 people with head armor, 1 guy without, but 1 guy with Seesaw's armor. He's gonna lose a majority of these fights, maybe excluding against Sherwin, who has a either P2K or a P250. Other than that, he's most likely gonna lose his fight. So don't ever buy a PP Bison round like this. Again, you picked up bomb. Bomb doesn't necessarily have to be picked up at the start of the round. It can be if you want to, but it's fine to leave bomb where it's at, right? Especially because, listen, if we take A site, that means the guys from mid are going to have to rotate, meaning one of them can pick it up. If we go B, that means number 9, me, has to rotate, meaning I can pick it up. Something along those lines, right? So you don't have to necessarily pick it up. Again, you're going to the same areas I am currently. The issue is A main's wide open. And that also means we only funnel into A through one area over a multitude of different areas. It's always better to, in a majority of cases, to hit a site through multiple different angles than just one. Crosshair placement's good right here. But you keep going down lower. It was good at the start, but now you're about chest level if someone peeks you. At the start, it was pretty good. And you see I fell back because I saw you there. I'm going towards it, man. Your crosshair placement isn't bad here. I get that kill here. Really, once I get that kill, your choice should be wait till I get close. And then from there, you either push out or you cover stairs. See, you pull out your bomb. Site's not cleared. No reason to pull out bomb. Only pull out bomb when you know site's completely cleared, and your teammate, if it is like a 2vx situation, is covering an angle in which you are vulnerable to. So meaning where you're going to plant default on A, that's fine to plant there, but you have to let me watch towards CT, you know? It's good to peek here because we don't know where the last guy's at. Here, once you're on site, just hold down left click and then it'll stick the whole animation. It's a little bit lagged, that's fine, but that's what you gotta do. Here, what I would recommend, even though now hindsight's 2020, right? You know he has an op and he's sitting cat. Here, I would either wide peek to the left, not completely, but just enough to look towards connector, or wide peek to the right so you can kind of get more information, because this is an information game. If you sit and you're the one to get pounced on, he's the one that's setting tempo. Running towards sandwich is a bad spot because it's not where you planted. It is unexpected, I'll give you that, because if they push CT, they'll see where the bomb is. They'll assume you're either a main or your palace. But it is unexpected. Oh, but it isn't that good either. And the reason why you should be looking up is because even if he pushes, he's not expecting you sandwich, right? So looking up, the best chance if he's jumping across is he could see you down below, right? You're moving and shooting for part of that. Just make sure you're careful when you're moving and shooting. Calm down. I can see this round. Again, crosshair placement. If you saw where your crosshair was at, it was looking towards the ground. Here's not too bad right now. If I took that fight, you should have been helping. You should have went more to the right. You should be helping here because they're focused both on me. Yes, you're in the general vicinity of it, but still, you should be able to be pushing here. You saw him? You know, one was Cat from the shooting as well. No reason. So from here, there's no reason to push, right? It's a 4v1. You have no reason to be going forward. All you do is if you push into store, risk yourself from dying, you know? In a advantageous position, especially a 4v1, you don't want to push forward because here you die, right? What you want as a clutcher is 1v1s, as many 1v1s as possible. With you dying, he now has a 1v3 instead of 1v4. A 1v4 is incredibly difficult to win. A 1v3 is still difficult, but less so, right? Just by nature, you have less people. You're moving and shooting there. As an op, you have to be patient. Everything's good so far. You were looking somewhere else from your teammate, right? Running straight across Cat without looking towards a site is just risky, right? Because what if there's one on a site? Your teammate wasn't pushing at that exact moment. You could have got killed. It's just risky, but your teammate's now on site, so it doesn't matter. So technically, you don't know where this last guy's at, so there's no fault here. Here right now, you got to kind of look like we cleared stores, so where you're looking right now, you know what I mean? You should either be looking towards apartments, most likely, given hindsight, right? Or towards Cat, because no one has eyes towards Cat. It's one of the two. Again, you don't need to peek there. What if he just killed you, you know? It's a 4v1. Right now, I don't need to be peeking either. 8 was fighting. He didn't need to peek. And that's round. Play off your teammate. I'm looking connector, so you should be watching Cat now because Molotov towards window. You don't need to be watching the same angle. Right? So part of the game too is teamwork. Look where your teammate's looking if you're the guy behind, and look the opposite direction. That way you can cover if anyone pushes, because if one's looking in front of you and no one's looking, let's say, to the left or to the right, if a guy comes from the left or to the right, you lose the round, right? So if one's looking in front and one guy's looking to the left, that means only your right's open. So part of the issue with that flash is when you're throwing it, you see that wall, that slight wall in Cat, it can block it. There's a chance in which it blocks it depending on the angles. Especially it doesn't flash anyone that's coming up close to the wall. So keep that in mind too when you're throwing that flash. There, really, you're not in a position where you have to push forward. You could have played back middle and be watching either window or Cat. You didn't have to, right? You didn't have to push forward. It's not that big of a deal. Like, it's not a cardinal sin. You didn't lose the round. But it's still something that you can improve on, right? It's 5v2. You don't need to do that. That's all. Same thing for the flash. Shooting's not a bad idea. It's warning shot, right? You see him Cat. That's a good kill. You're looking somewhere your teammates weren't. Right now, no one's looking towards windows, so it'd probably be a good idea for you. Oh, Bulldog's going up ladder, but still would have been a good idea to look somewhere where other people aren't. Remember, as an op on T side, you have two different options. You can either be aggressive, and you can try to get a lot of different kills, or you can be passive, supporting your team, holding angles in which a teammate isn't going. There is an in between, but really, those are your two real options right now. Smoke was not good because there's no reason for the smoke that you threw right now. You could either smoked off CT or save the smoke for your teammate to go plant, or smoked off connectors, so that way the guy cat, if he did pick cat, doesn't die. There's a lot of different things you could do with that smoke. That was a bad smoke. No reason to push again, right? 4v1. Doesn't matter the reason. Oh, okay, you didn't get that kill. But yeah, there's no reason to push forward right there. There's none. It's a 4v1, right? Just play passive, sit back. The way you peek it too, I would recommend peeking mid by pushing out and crouching, personally. Crouch peeking, really. You strafe to the left with A, and then you crouch while you right click. That's how I would recommend it. The way you're doing it, you're just standing up. It makes a lot more of your body hit, right? You got impatient. You shouldn't have got that kill. You got impatient, right? If you had just held there, don't unscope. As an opper, sometimes you have to just be patient and wait it out. You saw him connector. Cool. You don't know anything about this behind push, so there's no fault if you die to it. Now there is. I heard a footstep prior. Yep, you should have heard him. So right, you should have heard him. I heard a footstep and I heard a couple footsteps. Depends on if your teammate's calling at the time. That's why I'm a big proponent of useful communication instead of useless, right? A lot of times people say, "Ah, man, I died to the guy cat." Well, you don't need, "Ah, man, I died." We get it, you died. We can look top right? The feed there. Sugary Don killed the Mayo Man. But what would have been better there is if you said one cat, tagged cat, lit cat, one dead cat, right? It's a lot more precise. Okay, I know cat's dead, so I don't have to worry about that or whatever. Here, I don't know why you expect, maybe if teammates talked, that's fine, but you should have heard them. And that's either a fault on your teammates or that's a fault on you. You're scoped in, which is fine. Your teammates are pushing out on A though, so you need to be a little bit quicker, and you should probably be transitioning to lower right within the next like 3-5 seconds. Okay, good. You heard him cat. So right now, one, your crosshair's bad, right? But the positioning, the crosshair itself, whatever. But the positioning's bad. Looking down like that, and I don't know why you stopped. You heard him cat, right? No reason to, again, no reason to smoke there. If you look at your mini map, you see one guy already pushed out connector. It would have been better to smoke off cat or smoke off window. Depending where you, yeah, would have been better to smoke off cat or window. That was just a bad smoke. Also, when you're opping, typically you want to buy a pistol, like a good pistol, like a Tech 9 or a PD50 something. So right now, where are you looking, right? You're looking. They're both looking to the left, so you don't really need to be looking to the left. You need to either be looking forward or to the right. Here now, it isn't bad to be looking to the left. Now you know where the last guy's at. Again, what's the reason? Same thing for boss. What's the reason for pushing forward? There's none. It's a 3v5. You know where the last guy's at. He's gonna most likely come from through store. No reason to be pushing. And the guy's saving. Oh, never mind. He decided to push. Same thing for the flash. Um, so I know why you smoked that for window, but you gotta throw it closer, right? You gotta just more control over what you're doing. Jumping across here's not. It's a bad idea. You should be peeking connector and then peeking um window. Bad part is if there was a guy window when you jumped across and then you repeat that, you probably should have died. You do not have to do anything here. The right play would be playing upper banana or upper mid and just waiting for someone to push, right? You cover the whole mid side so that way I don't have to worry about cat. Same thing for boss. Number 8, Bulldog is yes. You heard him? You heard him? Meaning you should know he's connector. Cool. Make sure you're calling out everything you hear too. Even if it's wrong, it's better to warn. Majority of the time, not always. Teammates also scoped in. He's watching window. So you gotta kind of look at what your teammate's looking at, right? So it's good to push up here. Look towards cat's not a bad idea. You heard one connector. Well, again, what's your crosshair? Why are you looking to the right? What reason is there to look to the right? You know what I mean? There's a lot of unnecessary things going on. I'm not even talking about purely movement either, too, which there's a lot of movement issues. Looking cat's still not a bad idea. Like, you don't know where the last two are at. You're like, you probably should have still been watching cat. You heard one CT. Here's not a bad play. You're planning safe-ish. You're not seeing from CT. Pushing again. There's no reason to push here, right? It's a 5 versus 2. Bombs down. Better play would have been to run back to A main where you have a sight on bomb, right? Just pointless death. Let's see. Crosshair's fine. Why are you smoking? Why right click at that as well? Like, okay, I kind of get the right click so you're not seen from the store, but you're throwing the smoke out in the open. Hide behind something when you throw a smoke, right? It's dangerous to throw in the open because you just took 44 HP worth of damage. That flash is not a bad idea, but blind shooting isn't bad. Crosshair, right? Like right there where your crosshair was looking at the wall, you could have looked up towards cat. Like right there, you know what I mean? Look up towards cat. You made noise, by the way. You look up towards cat, you know? Yeah, see? That's a good crosshair position. You're at one ladder, call up for your team. Find kill. You know, last guy's cat. You could have went on bench at any point in time there and also helped look at cat. And you probably could have made that trade too if you immediately went to bench, but it's fine. Cool. That's a fine plant. Again, you're getting impatient. Hold scope. Don't need to move off. Staying crouch is a better option here. The reason why you want to stay crouched is in case someone comes around and they're already looking head level. You avoid that, right? But that's fine. There's no issue with whiffing shots. It happens. Good to, again, you pulled that bomb, no reason to, but good to, you should have kept your crosshair there. Would have saved Bulldog if you did, but that's fine, no issues. Again, keep looking towards cat. You don't know when someone might or might not push you that smoke, so you don't need to help your team when you have 2, even 3 people looking towards connector. Yep, there you go. Overall, it wasn't too bad. Deagle by first round is useless. The whatever, the Silence P2K USPS is really, really good when it comes to pistol rounds. Probably the best pistol in game. I'm still debating between the dualies and the Tech 9 with armor, but it's probably the best because as long as you headshot, it's a one-shot headshot. No reason to have a deagle at all. None whatsoever. Purely just economic standpoint, right? Faster fire rate, more capacity. Again, crosshair placement too. You're holding low cat. You want it towards head position. Head or chest, at least chest. Right now you've been looking at their like kneecaps. Crosshair placement again, right? Low on the floor. Saving now is not a bad idea. You don't have time, no kids. Your teammates shouldn't have pushed. You should be falling back. It's not a bad idea. Can crosshair, right? Calm down on the shooting there. You would have had that quicker, but it's fine. It worked out. Lucky kill there. He probably should have died, and then teammate got a team kill as well. Tuxedo killed Sugar Don, which would have jumped up. Really, what you should do is push back and just hold, right? Play defensive, but it's not bad. It's working out. Even though it's working out, doesn't mean it's the right play, right? Because sometimes bad plays work out while the right plays fail. But the way I would suggest it is investing versus gambling. Investing, as long as it's informed and it's well thought out, is the better option over gambling, because gambling is a gamble at the end of the day. It's stacked against you. While investing, you can put it towards your odds by being smarter about it. Can crosshair, right? Here, fall away, run away. You got the kill. You don't need to fight here. You just got to fall back. You're reloading in the open. You could have just went to the right and reloaded safely, right? You hear them going B. You can rush up now and fight this. You saw one. Your team's going quick. You got to keep going with your team. There's no reason for you to fall back like that. You're just baiting, right? Because Bulldog's going first, which he should. He has an SMG. You go second with the AK, and then third should be the op. Bench. You heard a guy shuffle to van, like you heard the movement of the feet. It worked out. Again, crosshair, right? But crosshair positioning. You still right there. You should have died too because your crosshair positioning was bad. If you're able to properly peek him, especially with him missing your shots, you're able to kill that guy lower. And then now we're in a 5v4, right? It's just crosshair positioning. But instead, you took a ton of damage without you doing any damage. Because of that's a prime example of crosshair positioning, right? Yeah, crosshair positioning again. But the crosshair position means you put it at head level where you think the enemy's going to be at. If you're defending, you put it at head level where you think the enemy will be at. Predictions, right?